here this morning with a really impressive assembly. Not just you, an impressive assembly of all the ordinary Canadians that we are part of. But those ordinary Canadians make up dancers, stage managers, singers, writers, authors, performers, the people that create the culture of our country, the people that make up the nerve bundle that makes Canada unique. And we're here because we want to say a few things to our fellow ordinary Canadians during this election campaign. We want to speak about the little value of culture to our country. Culture is an economic engine that contributes 1.1 million jobs to this country. Our cultural industries are responsible for over $85 billion of economic activity. We have someone that says he wishes to be Prime Minister that says those are elitist issues, that those are maybe not mainstream, that those belong to perhaps people that just walk on red carpets. Well, sorry, Mr. Harper, $85 billion in a time of economic crisis in this world is a major mainstream issue.
I guess you all read in the news this morning that Prime Minister Harper has decided that he's not going to impose the censorship aspect of Bill C-10 upon us. No, this is fantastic news. This is really fantastic news, but I don't think it's anything that we should be grateful for at all. I mean, this is like a man who steals your wallet and then kicks you in the face and then says, sorry about kicking you in the face.
There's a move afoot to sell the populist messenger of our culture, our telecommunications and media industries, particularly our broadcasting industries, to foreign ownership.
Shame!
My friends, I'm going to use that, my friends, because I think everybody here is my friend. Our popular media helps shape the debate around our culture, around our healthcare system, around our economic system, around our justice system. We do not want foreigners who would control the messenger to then control that message. That message is essential to our identity. So I would ask you, while you're considering your voting, to think not only in terms of supporting arts and culture, but ensuring that there will be no sell-off of our media and telecommunications industry. Thank you and good luck.
And it's because there are artists like you people here who tell us every day what we're about, what our values are. And we are, in fact, a different country to any other in the world. And we have so much to say to so many other countries.
What is it like to be an artist? It's almost indescribable. It's a blessing. It's a great fortune. And to perform, vital. What do I experience when I perform? It's something difficult to describe, but I suspect every artist experiences something remarkable. I like to call it touch. Not a physical touch. It is a connection between the audience and whoever they are watching, listening to, or experiencing. It's a moment, an invisible connection, a touch. This is what changes people, moves people, transcends them. This is what makes people walk out of a theater feeling different than when they walked in. This is why I do what I do. It is why all artists do. Now, I adore every moment, and I am so very fortunate that I get to do this for a living. And I'm here today taking a stand so that I can continue doing it for a living. So on behalf of my colleagues, some of whom are with me here today, we ask you to vote with your heart. Vote arts and culture.
This land is your land, this land is my land. From the East Coast fisheries to the BC coastline, from our border cities to our great north waters. This land was made for you and me. In the squares of the cities, in the shadow of the steeples, near the relief office, I see my people, and some are grumbling, and some are wondering if this land's still made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is our land, from the eastern borders to our BC coastlands, from the border cities to our great north waters. Sing it out! This land was made for you and me. And you cannot forget that, everybody.
I'd like to read you a letter that I've written to the Prime Minister. And I've called this letter, this is thanks to an old friend of mine, Cedric Smith. And the Oscar goes to Stephen Harper, the Right Honourable Prime Minister of Canada. Dear Stephen, I hope you won't find it presumptuous of me addressing you with such informality. But ever since that day in Rollo, Saskatchewan, when you came to shoot your part in an episode of Corner Gas, I felt a certain, I don't know, collegial empathy with you. I have to say you were pretty good. You knew your lines, you hit your marks, you joked with the extras, you didn't take yourself too seriously. I have a great picture taken of us. You're smiling, I'm smiling. Everybody in the picture is smiling. We're all having a great time. A bunch of actors and the Prime Minister of Canada relaxing after having done a little cultural work making some Canadian television. We were comrades in arms, treating each other with affectionate respect. So you can imagine my shock, disappointment, and pain that your boot in my privates delivered when you chose to characterize me and my kind as some kind of whining freeloaders on the public purse, contributing nothing to this society or nothing that was of any interest or value to ordinary Canadians. Now, I'm not sure who you mean by ordinary Canadians, but I assume they can't be any of the 1.5 million Canadians that watch Corner Gas every week. Because these people tell me, no, I haven't spoken to each one of them individually. But I have spoken to thousands and thousands of them over the years, and they tell me that they find tremendous resonance in the show. 2 weeks ago, at the wrap-up of the final season of Corner Gas, we had an open house at the Soundstage in Regina. From early morning into the evening, fans by the thousands streamed through the facility. I was there to thank people for their support of Corner Gas and for their support of Canadian culture in general. But they wouldn't let me. They didn't want anything from me. They wanted to give me something, and by me, they meant the show and everybody who had worked on the show. So, you'd be included in this gift too, Stephen. First, they wanted to share the wonderful laughs and times they and their families had had watching Corner Gas. Then they wanted to say how grief-stricken they were that we weren't going to be making any new episodes. And finally, they wanted to say how grateful they were for putting Saskatchewan on the map. Now let me translate that for you, Stephen, for fear you dismiss it as a bunch of elitists preoccupied by a niche issue. What they were really saying was, thank you for making me, a Canadian living in Saskatchewan, visible to myself, to the rest of the country, and by extension to the world. And I would posit that is essentially the experience of all Canadians who enjoy Corner Gas. That's what a culture does for a people. It makes them visible. It makes them visible to themselves, to each other, and to the rest of the world in cultural terms, in imaginative terms. And in this country, that is an experience that is all too rare. Here we have to make do with the odd glimpses of ourselves in an avalanche of cultural product from everywhere else but Canada. One last point, Stephen. It's all the same thing. It's all Canadian culture. From the rich galas to the green ball cap perched on an angle on Oscar Leroy's head. It's all Canadian culture. This country is blessed with talented, dedicated people struggling to make a contribution. Your remarks only make that struggle harder. And to quote Oscar and my late father, that's just stupid. So, from one jackass to another, best wishes, Eric Peterson, a.k.a. Oscar.
Our 5 political parties, none of them have endorsed more money for the CBC. We've done the research, we can tell you, none of them have. We've distributed a flyer here. I ask you to look at it, I'll have more up on the stage. They've all been very vague, all 5. Some are vaguely supportive, that's good. Some say they wouldn't cut the CBC further, that's good. But none of them said that they would increase funding for the CBC, and that's not good. You know, I know it, people who work in this industry know it, less and less work is coming out of that building. And that's the reason. The budget has been flatlined since 1991, and no one will talk about it.
Boo, shame!
It is shameful.
Shame!
The CBC is limping along on flatlined funding, and the people inside can't tell you about it because they're not really allowed to. No party statements on funding have been particularly impressive. Most parties will tell you, and they'll tell you at all candidates' debates and on TV, oh, I'm in favor of stable funding for the CBC, multi-year funding for the CBC. Those are all pretty good things, but the problem is, we don't really know what they mean. Is that less funding or more funding? What really do you have in mind? So I just wanted to let you know, too, that the CBC trails all the other public broadcasters in the world in terms of funding, in the industrialized world. It's true. The average funding for public broadcasters in the industrialized countries is $80 per capita. In this country, we spend $33 per capita on public broadcasting.
It is wrong to make us beg for scraps from the buffet table. It is wrong because all we are asking for is R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. Spell it now. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. Don't suck it to me. Don't suck it to me. Don't suck it to me. Don't bleed me dry. Oh, don't bleed me dry. 'Cause this is our Canada. Sing. Our Canada. This is our Canada. Sing. Our Canada. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. Let me hear you sing. Oh, Canada. Yeah, 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 yeah. Thank you.
My experience in this industry is it has been growing, it has been getting better. One of the reasons it has been getting better, maybe the principal reason, is that we have an arts funding system that allows for the training of people who become professionals, who now have us on the cusp of being a world leader in television and film. And if we can get, I don't think it's too much to ask from a conservative prime minister that he get behind a business that has the potential that we have. You know, if you look at the last year in popular culture and see that there was a movie that led the charge of the Academy Awards that was directed by a Canadian, that was starring 2 Canadians, my question to Harper is, why not get behind a process that the next time that movie comes out, it's made in Canada and gives jobs to Canadians? We have the infrastructure here. We have the ability to attract this lost talent that we have, you know, that goes to London and to Paris and to LA because they're never really sure what the government is going to do. We need to finally put our foot down and say we're behind this important national industry. So I urge you, as my friend did, to vote arts and culture. But if you're conservative, remember that vote can also reflect that we're a viable business that bring not only a sense of Canadian identity into your homes, and by the way, when he says that people are too tired to go home and watch Canadian culture, that culture includes Corner Gas. That culture includes Kids in the Hall and Flashpoint and these shows that we love to watch on TV and put our feet up. So remember that. This is a good business. Don't ruin it. Restore the cuts to our funding. Thank you.